Today I'm bringing another PSA Graded return, and this is gonna be a fun one because one of these is actually a little bit unique and different, and I'm excited to kind of show you guys. But first things first, I just came back from a card show that took place in San Diego. I think it was called SD Collectibles, and I didn't find anything that really stood out. First of all, problem, every time I go to these card shows, I literally own pretty much everything that I want. I've kind of beaten the game when it comes to cards. I know it's weird. It's a weird flex, if I can be honest with you, but that's just how it is. And a lot of times when I go to these card shows, I just want to see what's there. And I actually did pick up something unique and different that I was really interested about. It was also a pretty good price. I got all three of these for $200. And something you'll notice is they'll have consecutive certs. So see how it says 11, 10, and 9. So you probably have seen these before. I got the SpongeBob cards from the secret related drop, but this is the internet sensation version, which is basically all the memes made as cards. You know, we got the counterspell with the SpongeBob. This is the one I wanted mostly. I actually only wanted this at first, but then when a guy pointed out that they were all consecutive and it was like $200 for all of them, I'm like, yeah, why not? This is dope. One of my favorite memes, actually, probably one of the most used memes out there. And then of course we got the Squidward as well. I did actually put in a bid to get the Patrick one as well. And I think the last one that they had was the Crabs, Mr. Krabs, the Confused Crabs, which I also might try to get my hands on. Now, fun fact, I actually have these in a sealed envelope. I bought all three when it was launched. I just never rated them because, for one, I know how Magic cards are. They don't always tend to be the best quality because, well, it's WotC at the end of the day. And two, I don't really want to open it, if I can be real with you. So it's funny because I bought them to grade, and then now I want to open it, and then I ran into this, and I bought it, so it's like, why'd I do that? I mean, it's still kind of cool. It's history, and SpongeBob being one of my favorite cartoons from my childhood, it's a win-win. Anyways, so what's inside the box? So, oh, by the way, one thing I also want to talk about, something that mildly annoyed me on Twitter. I posted these on Twitter, and the very first thing I saw was, nothing against this person, but it's the fact that I see this very, very often, and that's why I'm addressing it. The person was like, "What would you grade these? They're worthless." Bro, if trading cards to you are just a dollar sign, I feel like your opinion doesn't matter. I said what I said. I've always been on team, like, collect what you like, collect what gives you joy, and while it is cool to see cards rise and drop in price, the journey of a card, that shouldn't be the only thing. I like these cards. They were like my favorite memes, and the fact that they're cards was good enough for me, you know? And I like to slab my cards. So it's like, when people are like, oh, but the price is the value. Like, fuck your price is the value. That's what I think. Fuck the prices. I said what I said. All right, let's go ahead and open these. Let's do probably this one first. Make sure I got the information over here. And let's do some reveals. I guess I can take both out at once. By the way, I also had a weird PSA interaction I want to talk about that was kind of annoying. So in a recent submission that I sent, like 4 days ago, I sent one of the batches I sent was reviews. It was 3 BGS cards and 1 PSA card. Whenever you try to send in cards from like crossovers from other companies, you can't send PSA cards along with that. And for me, I had 3 BGS cards. Like I said, they were 9.5s. I'm gonna see if they want to cross the 10s. And then for the 4th card, it was a PSA card, but you have to send it in as a completely different submission, right? So I did. I batched it together. I just figured they'll correct it. And I got an email saying like, hey, you can't do this. Do you want to fix this? The options are you can either do a reholder or a review. And I literally respond with, oh yeah, let's do a review. You know, there was no option on the website to make it kind of seamless. So I just sent it in. I figured you guys can kind of correct it once it's there. Tell me why I get an email saying, cool, reholder is going to be processed. And I'm like, I said review. It literally says review. And I respond, I got no email back. And I'm like, maybe they'll fix it. It pops up on my PSA app and it gives me the date when it's gonna be done. And starts entering through the process. I'm like, yo, it's been days. Can someone fix this? I'm not asking for a reholder. I want this reviewed because I think it could be a 10. And tell me why I had to message again. And they're like, oh yeah, it says reholder on our back end. We'll fix it. I'm like, bro, how did we mess this up? It's one word. Anyways, whenever we get that resolved, hopefully it gets resolved, we'll have a review video as well, which I've never done with PSA. I've done reviews with BGS, but not really a PSA. Right, so like I said, this submission is a bit more unique. I feel like this is the one that's going to be more exciting to people because this is, hardcore grades and stuff. But this is a little bit different, so let's just go down the list. So first things first, we got the Dia Bellstar Alt Art. These are the ones that I bought from Ruxton. Fun fact, when I bought these from Ruxin, I wasn't really thinking. I hate buying cards, and I come to the conclusion I need to stop doing this. But I hate buying Yu-Gi-Oh cards at launch because they always drop at this crazy price, and then they drop because the people either don't want it or enough people buy it, and then the demand is higher, or the demand is lower than the supply. Supply high means prices go down. And every time the prices go down, it's right after I bought them. But in this situation, one reason why I bought 6 of these is because Ruxin asked how many do I want, and I go, all of them. And he went ahead and shipped them, but I should have specified, I didn't really want all of them. I didn't even ask how many he had. So when he shipped them, I'm like, how many did you send me, by the way? He goes, 6. I'm like, I bought 6? And at this price? Ruxin, please. Woo! All right, but now I'm happy. Again, going back to what I said earlier, it's not about the prices of a card, it's what's cool. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh, for example, is one of the things that no one really out there is grading. And I'm grading all my favorite cards, especially ones that I'm playing. My favorite characters, this being one of them. And it should always be about, like, what's cool to you. Like, collect what's cool to you, whether it be cards, marbles, pogs, I don't care, rocks. If it looks cool and you like it, put it in your pocket. Well, as long as you're not stealing, obviously. Buy it if it's a card or something that you can, like, obtain and put it on your shelves and stuff like that. But when this is all about, like, prices, I feel like you just kind of lost. Again, nothing against prices. It is a norm in collectibles. I've also enjoyed seeing stuff go up and down in the past. It's cool to kind of see something that you bought or collected or pulled do this. But like when this is the only thing that's all about, it's like we're losing the spirit of collecting, But yeah, this is one of those cards that I feel like is really, really cool. It's an alternate for one of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh cards of all time, by the way. And I don't think anybody cares about this except for me. All right, can we get another one? Oh, we got 2 10s back to back. Watch me be the only person that has these actually graded. I remember when I was getting Yu-Gi-Oh cards in 2016 along with Pokemon, and I was the only one grading like random cards that just came out, like Blue Eyes from the Dark Side of Dimensions and stuff like that. I still have those cards, by the way. They're in my pile of random cards somewhere over here, but like I remember even getting comments back then like, why are you grading this? This is a $2 card. Because it's cool. What do you mean? Love that. That's sick. All right. I was gonna say, can we go all of these into 10s? I think I submitted 5. I kept 1 because I remember 1 was like kind of dinged up. I'm gonna crack this one out. I'll be honest with you. This is gonna get cracked out and get put into my one of my decks. But now the real question is, I see why. I was like, what about it made it be a 9? It's that corner up there. It's kind of weak. I'm surprised I even sent this in because the one that I kept, I remember had a corner similar to that. All right, so we got a 9. What's next? Another 3 10s? I mean, don't mind if I do. This one's a little bit questionable because look at that awful centering. You see that? Look how thick it is over here versus that side. It's more questionable. This is definitely a loose 10. This is definitely a loose 10. Hey, but again, this card is cool. Getting 3 is dope. Oh, for a second I thought I hit the stop record, but it would have been annoying. Getting 3 10s is dope. I'm keeping all of these. I know someone's gonna be like, you selling this? Nope. It's one of my favorite cards. Can we get one more? Nah, it's a 9. That's fine. Oh yeah, this one's centering is also buns. Look at that. Wait a minute. Okay, this one's a bit more beat. I was gonna say, like, look at that corner. Definitely buns. I don't think I looked at it. I think I just submitted all 5. I bought 6 just to see what happens. But cool. I was gonna say this one definitely has the same centering as that last 10. Like, look at that. If you compare it, it's definitely like super thick. But I guess the corner damage in this one is what made it be a 9. All right, and then we have our 2 Pokemon cards that I'm really excited for. The Ho-Oh EX, an 8. Okay, that's fair. That corner is some buns. And then there's like a hair or something. Like, it's not even a hair. It's like a piece of fuzz. Like it's this thing. You see that? It's literally that, but in the card. But honestly, this valid. An 8 for that though? I feel like that's kind of crazy. I did hear that a lot of modern Pokemon cards are like getting super harshly graded, which I think should be the case, because if there's too many 10s, as long as it's being graded properly, too many 10s is not a good thing. I mean, some of these cards literally have like a pop of like 15, 20,000, and it's like, that's insane. And I feel like the only people who are really buying them are just vendors who just sell to other vendors. The 1% that's actually buying them because they really like the card, it's cool to them, go into their, you know, personal collection forever. Oh, great. But I feel like most people that are buying these Avengers, like even went to the card shop today, or the card show today, I saw like no 10s at all for older cards. All I saw was 10s for moderns. And the reason why is because there's so many out there. This card is sick though. I might resub this again. I know this corner is kind of ass. You know what I might do? I have my other one that got a 9. I'll submit both that and this, and I want to see what happens. Let's see if like one becomes more 10 worthy. Because the other one, the only difference is the centering is a bit off, but it's not like ridiculous. I mean, again, if you see cards like this get 10s, and you're like, but the centering's buns, like, you know, that PSA has a bit more leniency, which is kind of nice. And also I feel like centering should not be that harshly, you know, looked at, unless it's like super crazy off. If it's like 90-10, I get it, but usually if it's like 50 or 55, 45 or 40, 60, it's the same thing. What we should look at for cards is the damage itself. Like, is there scars in the cards? Is there dents? Is there little dings in the corner? That should be the most important thing. But like centering, I feel like it gets too harshly judged sometimes. I love this card. This is so fire to me. It's obviously a homage to the first time Ash saw Ho-Oh in the first episode of Pokemon. And then me as a kid, I get mind blowing because me as a kid used to be like, what is that? We didn't know what it was for a very, very long time. We thought it was like a Spearow or something, or Fearow, or like an Articuno. It's like, what is that bird that we saw? And I'm gonna find out it was just a teaser at Gen 2, which we didn't know until way, way later, which is kind of crazy. All right, and then the big boy himself has got to be a 10. See, this is what I mean. I think they just dinged the centering again. The centering is not that crazy bad. Just gonna move this over. Like, obviously, it is a bit thicker on the right side, but it's not like insane. And I've seen worse 10s. I think my issue with centering with PSA is the consistency when it comes down to centering is by far the worst I've seen out of any company when it comes to grading, because you'll see like 10s left and right that have the worst possible centering, and then you finally submit a card that has better centering than some of these 10s, and it's like you get a 9. It's like, what? So I'm gonna crack this out and try this again, and we'll see if we'll get a 10 on this one. This is the one that I pulled, the infamous one that I pulled, the only one that I ever pulled. I also have some more boxes I might open just for one time to see if I can pull the Garchomp still, if people are interested, of course. But yeah, we're gonna try this again. This card is so sick. I think this is one of the more cooler Pokemon cards that has been released. What is that card? Oh, that's just, I thought that was like some kind of like scar or something. It's just the aura of Mewtwo. It's literally Mewtwo's aura. It's kind of crazy. But I think this is one of the more cooler cards that came out a long time. I mean, again, Mewtwo being one of my favorites is like hands down, like, bro, look at him. And Giovanni looks so fierce. We'll try that one again. We're gonna try it again. This is unique because these are all signed cards by VAs. And normally I don't really collect signed cards like that. I mean, obviously there's like the ones that already have the signature imprinted on the card, but I've never had like cards signed other than, like, for example, this. The homie Leonhardt got for me. A couple years ago, he was like, hey, we have the artist of all the gold stars coming if he's going to sign some cards for you. And I sent him this gold star Charizard as well as Registeel. And remember, that's when I found out that my Mewtwo I had accidentally sold to Troll and Toad, which I did not want to do. I had a PSA 9 gold star Mewtwo that I pulled myself that somehow ended up in that batch. Like, I already had a PSA 10, that's why. And somehow I must have like put in a batch that I boxed out without triple checking, and then the only reason why I found out is because I looked it up on Troll and Toad. Because I couldn't find the card when I was trying to like send it to Leonhardt, and I looked up the card on Troll and Toad to see the same cert as my card. This is a couple years ago. This is like 2018, 2019, so a long time ago. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and go down the list. Some cool ones in here. Oh, let's do these last. Let's do this one last. Let me go down the list. Okay, so we'll start with Lisa Ortiz. This is my wife's one of her favorite VAs. She voiced what's her name? Lena from Slayers. And I like her signature, it's really, really dope. And we got an auto 10 or auto 8. So 10 on the card and auto 8. So one reason why I don't like grading signed cards is because PSA grades the accuracy of the signature, which is weird to me. I feel like they shouldn't do that. They did that with this as well. Well, for this one I only did authentication, and they graded the auto a 10. But like, what does that mean? What does it mean for an autograph to be a 10 or a 9? I assume it smudges and stuff, but this looks good to me. So it's like, what about it? Like, you mean tell me if they're signing and they run out of ink, that's gonna be like a 9 or 8? That's kind of weird. I think you can actually just do grades and then authentication on the grade as well, because I feel like people will be annoyed seeing anything other than 10. So I probably could have submitted a bit better, but again, I don't really know much about sign stuff, so I've never really done it outside of this once. Outside of that, never again. But yeah, hey, but again, none of these are for sale. These are all some of our favorite VAs, some of our favorite anime characters, and this is obviously my wife's, so it's gonna go to her, and she doesn't care about the grades at all. Here's another one. 10 and 10 on that one, okay. What is the difference? I mean, obviously, you know, we have a different marker, but like how do you decide, you know, that this is a 10 autograph? I don't know. Keep it going. Here's another one. Oh, this one's dope. This one's dope. So what's funny about this? Let me check the grade first. 10 and 9. What's funny about this? There's a signed version of this card, so the signature's on this side. So when I was picking out the cards to send for my wife, I was like, "What do you want?" Oh, I got it. We got to do this one because we never put a signed version of this card, but we can do our own version. You know, obviously with the VA that you grew up under. So this is sick. I like this a lot. This is fire. Okay. Next, we got, and then this is the final one. So I remember I grabbed 4 because I was like, "Which one do you want?" And she was trying to decide between like the 4. I was like, "I'm gonna just do all 4." 10 and 10 again, and this one is actually dope. I like the kimono version of Lena. And once again, it's like, what, like, bro, wait, hold on. What is that deciding factor on autos? Because this looks smudgy to me. It's a 10. Does anybody know how they grade signatures? Because confusing. Okay. The way the signature looks, it doesn't match how they. It's the VA. How you gonna tell the VA that they're wrong? Unless like they have like a similar signature that they like match, maybe. And if it's like slightly off, it's like a 10. I don't know. If that's the case, that's stupid. Ooh, here's one of mine. Oh no, this is actually Kayla still, but this is one of my favorite shows, quintuplets. We have Miku at 10 and 10. Yeah, this is Felicia. This looks good too. I like that. That's my wife's name. Ooh, it's kind of sick. And it's got a 10 too on that. It's actually a pretty rare SSP. I almost said SP. See this is what I mean. This is the actual card that's signed by the Japanese VA. It's like imprinted on the card, but now we got also the English one. This is such a cool idea. I mean, I'm sure someone's done this before with the SPs and like the autographed cards that exist in Japan, and now also in English because they release these obviously here in English as well. But it's such a cool idea being able to get both VAs. Granted, one's real and one's, you know, part of the card. But this is dope. If you see quintuplets, let me know what the best quintuplet is. The correct answer is, well, she's Miku's second best. Okay, I'll get to my favorite here in a second. We got 10-10 again. This is actually from the quintuplets card game that was released exclusively in Japan. And this TCG is actually kind of fire because they mix a lot of the manga art with the stuff that's in the show, and I like how they've done some of these cards. But this is an SP of Miku that we pulled actually ourselves, and then now we got it signed by English VA Felicia. This is my favorite character here. It is Itsuki. I'm always gonna be Team Itsuki. A 9 and 8. This card has always had like grading issues because like it was a promo. But I figured maybe it's good enough to be a 10. And we got an 8 on the auto from Tia. How did they decide that? That's one thing I don't get, because this signature looks clean to me. Am I tripping? Am I dumb? Anyways, Itsuki is best quintuplet, hands down. If you've seen the show, let me know. If you don't know what quintuplets is, it's a romance anime where it's one tutor tutoring 5 sisters, and then they all basically fall for him. It's a really good show. It's super wholesome. It's 2 seasons and a movie. So 11 episodes movie. If you never check it out, if you want to try something different other than like, you know, your generic shonens, trust me, it's a very, very good show. Oh, this is actually one of my favorite Itsuki cards. 10 on the card and 8 on the signature. See, this one I would argue is I get because that heart, I think it's a heart, is kind of like breaking apart. But why is this an 8? Like, I don't get it. Is it because it's smudgy? Either way, this is still dope to me. I don't give a shit about what the grade is for the autograph. But like, again, having the Japanese VA on the card and then the English one is also fire to me. I love English dub. I'm gonna say right now, a lot of people will always like look at English dub and be like cringe. And it's like, you know, again, same thing I was saying with collect what you like, watch what you like. I watch both sub and dub, and a lot of times I love watching dub just because I think a lot of our VAs are super underrated. The fact that a lot of people will dismiss English dub by default has always been weird to me, because it's like, you can like what you like, but the people that have animosity towards it are just weirdos to me, if I can be real with you. And a lot of my friends are also VAs nowadays, you know. Alejandro Saab, one of them. Remember, I convinced him to literally drop out of college to pursue voice acting in 2014, and he did, and it worked out. But you gotta show some love to our VAs. Just think about it, a lot of us grew up under Dragon Ball Z. We grew up under Sean Shamble, Chris Sabat, you know, everybody, Kyle A. Bear, a lot of these VAs, and all of a sudden people grow up and they start watching sub and just forget dub. It's like, I'm like, bro, what happened? Why are you hating? I don't know, but again, it's preference. If people prefer sub, then that's fine. But yeah, I love this card. This is one of my favorite Itsuki cards that exist within the White Schwartz umbrella. Another Itsuki. Oh, this gotta be a 10. How is that an 8? This is literally the cleanest signature that we've seen. I'm just curious. Oh, so this is kind of like her signature that she does, that she did up here. It's like a heart and something, like maybe like a signature that she does amongst her signatures. But yeah, this is actually pretty dope. Again, Quintuple TCG, featuring one of my favorite of the sisters. Again, let me know your favorite if you've seen the show. Oh, we're gonna say that out last, because these are amongst my favorites. Should be one more, I think. Yep. Funny story about this one, which we'll get to once we get there. Oh, here's the other one. Here's my Miku. I actually pulled this one from the set, which is actually, I think this is the most sought after card in that set that was released a couple of months ago. I wanted an Itsuki, but you know, again, you pull the second best, it's still good. And 10 and 10. See, this is what I don't get, because I remember I watched Felicia, was her name, when she was signing this, the pen literally exploded on the card, and I'm like, I didn't make that face because it's like, oh no, my card. I was just shocked. I was like, what are the odds? What are the odds? And she did an amazing job cleaning it off. I'm talking about, it was like all over the card. So when I saw that, I did go, oh, that's definitely not going to get a 10. But I mean, the card still hit a 10 and the auto hit a 10. Maybe they don't even look at something like this. I also love the fact that it has my name on there. This is so dope to me, dog. This is super cool. Again, we got the Japanese VA in there as well. It's part of the card, but this is the real signature. Yeah, maybe one day I can get, if I ever get a chance to meet the VAs in Japan, I can maybe get the actual signature on the card as well. We'll see. This is dope. This is super dope. All right, these last two cards are also sick. Which one do I do first? I'll do these last two last. Let's do this one first. Let's go down the line. We'll do this one last, because this is like the cool card. They're all cool cards, but like the more cooler card. Right. I pulled this literally at the event, because I remember I was like, I need to get her to sign something, and I found the one booth that was selling White Schwartz boxes, and I'm like, yo, I need a box. And I pulled this. It was just a SR, so it's not like super crazy, but it's like Reggie and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I gotta find something for her to sign, and it's only 2 SRs per box, and I just happened to get one that happened to be mine. A 10 and an 8. How's this an 8? 10 on the card, that's great. I'm just confused. This is so sick, dog. This is so dope to me. And Erica Mendez is an absolute talented VA, like one of the best out there. She's also done a lot of other characters, like Ryoko, for example, Kill la Kill, another fantastic series. But my Sakura Jima being one of my favorite anime characters of all time, outside, you know, like my regular realm of stuff that I watch, like Dragon Ball and Death Note and things like that. On like the romance anime side, this is one of the most peak romance anime you can watch. I'm not even joking. I feel like anyone that's seen romance anime will agree. Rascal Does Not Dream the Rascal Does Not Dream series is probably a lot of people's favorite. So highly recommend that. It's on, I think, Netflix, Hulu, and everything. It's 11 episodes and 1 movie. And then there's more movies that adapted the other light novels. So this isn't a manga, it's a light novel. There's other movies that also adapted other light novels that came out after that as well. But the primary part that I would definitely recommend you check out is 11 episodes anime, and then the movie that wraps that up. And then the other ones are kind of like beyond that story. And it's sick. Really, really good. This is so cool. go next one. Ooh, actually, so I pulled both of these out of the box. The fact that the 2 SRs I got were both was also insane. 10 and a 9 on that one. I also like the placement of the signature there. I like how it's gold. It like stands out a lot more, especially when, like shining in the light. This is sick. Dope, dope, dope. Okay, so the story with this one. This is a BGS 10 that I cracked out. Let me say that again. This is a BGS 10. Gold 10 that I cracked out and brought to the event the next day. Because I went both of the days. This is the first day, and then when I came back home, I was like, I really wanted to sign an SP. And I had bought this on eBay like a year prior to G cracking it out. It wasn't like a crazy expensive price either. It was like a reprint. That's why you see silver stamp. Oh! You know what's funny about people doing PSA reveals is I'll see people do PSA reveals. They're like, I wonder what grade this is. And you'll see like the gem standing out. It's like, bro, you're not covering it completely. Which I just kind of partially did, but they do it on purpose. But yeah, this is sick. This is dope. Auto 9 once again for whatever reason, but I feel like this is really, really clean. What about this is a 9? I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't understand how they grade the autos. But this is now one of my favorite cards. So the story with this also is Rascal lost their license with Weiss. Well, the licensing shifted or something. I don't know what the rules were. When they reprinted this set, the original releases with signatures with the Japanese VAs. The same we saw with, like, for example, here. So English card, Japanese VA like that. So they lost their license, and when they reprinted this set specifically, all they were allowed to do for the SPs is put a little stamp on, and I think this is basically, I want to say this says the anime name in Japanese, but I might be wrong on that. That's basically how they were able to like compromise, but they were no longer allowed to do signature on these. So when I got this, I was like, I love the art on this, but it'd be dope to actually get the English VA to sign it. So I literally kept that card in a situation where if I was ever to like come across Eric Mendez, and we got that. So when I came back home after the first day, I was like, I'm cracking it out. I'm cracking it out. Let's see what happens. It was a really, really good condition card, so I wasn't expecting anything lower than a 10, but this is hype. This is sick. I like that a lot. All right, and then the other two big ones, we'll do that one last, is we have Albedo. Ooh. This is Elizabeth Maxwell, who has voiced Albedo from Overlord. So for both of these, she did like a different marker, which is sick. This is the reprint, as you can tell, because it has the silver stamp. But I love how much the blue just stands out. 10 and 10, that's what we like to see, baby. Look at that, that's so sick. This is dope. Also another fantastic isekai. If you have never seen isekais, you know, like ReZero, for example, Overlord, I recommend this one. It's really, really good. It's unique, it's a little bit different. And what I like about Overlord is it kind of like puts you in the perspective of like, if you ever played an MMO, have you ever had a thought where it's like, man, I wish I could live in this world? That's what Overlord essentially is. The anime literally starts with them shutting down the servers of this online game, and the main character just rides it out. Like, yeah, I'm gonna just ride out until they shut down the servers. And when the servers shut down at midnight, he is part of the world still. That's how it starts. Like, he's part of this like world that he's been crafting and leveling up. And he's like super crazy powerful. He's got the whole crew. It's pretty good. And of course, Albedo being one of the coolest characters out there. This is sick. And then of course, one of my favorite cards. Shout out to Alex Ketchum. Can't catch him, we should call him, because he has not gotten this yet, if I recall correctly. I got a black label of this and a BGS 10. And I cracked out a BGS 9.5 that was like a 10, 10, 95, 95 subgrade for this event. Again, when I came back the next day and I cracked this out, I also cracked these two out. This is a BGS 10, by the way, and this is a BGS 9.5. 10 and an out of 9. Love that. I also love that the gold matches the Soben gold from the art itself. And also, this art is insane. This is so cool. Fun fact, this is actually one that I pulled. If I recall correctly, so I bought a BGS 10 that I then traded with some cash for a black label. Mine that I pulled graded a 9.5, which turned to this. And then I bought another copy, which then also graded a BGS 10. I have a bunch of copies of this at this point. But its art is so cold. I remember when this set came out and nobody pulled us because like it was so hard to pull. It was like 1 in like 4 cases or something like that to get one of these secret rares. And there were 2. There's Heinz, which is the main character, and then of course the Albedo. But I love this art. This is probably one of my favorite White Schwartz cards that came out next to the Mai, the Ephemeral Existence Mai that I got as a PSA 10 and the BGS 10. This card is so cool to me, and not having the English VA on top of the Sobin signature is just really, really dope to me. Sobin, I believe, is the studio that illustrated it. This is the illustrator. Yeah, this is the illustrator signature. Whereas this is the VA, because they had 2 releases of this. This is from set 2. Yeah, this is from set 2. This is fire. This is definitely one of my favorite cards that I now own amongst my White Schwartz collection. But yeah, that's that. Let me know your thoughts about signatures, all that good stuff. If you know anything about how they grade signatures, let me know as well. But today was a win. Even with this being a 9, this is still cold. We'll shots again. Of course, my Diabell stars getting 3 of these Altards as 10 is also pretty cool. That said, I hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up if you did. See you guys in the comments as always. So yeah, till next time, guys.